Howdy. So what have I got? I have got the Innorel RT85C. This bad boy right here. It's my cheat sheet, so I'm gonna keep looking at this for quite a while. I've had this for a couple of months, maybe 3 months now. As you can see, it's already getting a bit of wear and tear on the pad and some scratches and stuff. Doing a review on this. Same reason I do my reviews kind of on everything, because I can't find a review like this that just talks about stuff I like, stuff that I use. By the way, this is being filmed on a GH5, sitting on a Crane 2 on my coffee table right now. Just in case you wanted to know why this footage looks so pretty. Shooting in all intra 30, 4K. Some of the cutaways are all in 60, 1080, all intra. Just to keep things nice and smooth. What do we start with? So, some specs. This sucker here holds 25 kilos. The only thing I'm using on it at the moment is this GH5, so it is a little bit overkill. But I wanted something built like a tank, that when I put a bit of a custom built or bitsy built shoulder rig, I can just drop it on, big matte box on front, follow focus, everything, legs nice and wide, it's not gonna budge, and really, really tall. So if I'm shooting out in the forest or shooting in some weird locations, I can drop these legs way, way, way down and get it nice and steady. What else? It's made of carbon fiber, which for the price, which I'll reveal at the end, is nuts. So carbon fiber, carbon fiber, carbon fiber, carbon fiber. And then aluminium, 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 aluminum. Why do Aussies say aluminium? We're adding a letter. There's no second I in there. Aluminium, plastic on the knob here, which is completely fine. If my eyes keep going here, my screen is open. I'm just checking that I'm still in the frame. I don't think I've given myself enough headroom, but that's all right. I can deal with that in post. 187 centimeters max. This is huge. Having the flip out screen on the GH5 does allow me to shoot way above my head, and I can turn the screen down and get some pretty amazing shots from way, way up here. Another cool feature, if I can get this off quite fast, is this. Check this out. So this little base plate for the top here goes from a 3/8 to a 1/4. You just flip it around. How freaking cool is that? I feel like all the main tripod brands have that. I just think it's the coolest thing in the world. The fact this is super cheap. Stuff like this is what they could have skimped on and not included. But it's all here, so I'm gonna keep going. Back you go. So what am I moving on to? Ooh, spring buckles. So your little leg latchments here can go to like any angle you want, which is freaking amazing. Some of you might notice is, let's figure this out again. Yes, it is, I don't want to say stiff. That's not the right word. When you're on set and you're manhandling this around and you're standing up and you're pulling stuff out, it just feels sturdy. Nothing is loose. Nothing feels cheap. This is a tank. But it weighs absolutely nothing. It's extremely light, which is insane. I freaking love it. Oh yeah, so the feet come off. They're back in the studio behind me. I'm too lazy to go get them. When you go to buy one of these, you'll see. It has really nice, spiky, like inch-long stainless steel feet. Not plastic, not rusty, shitty, crappy feet. They're stainless steel, they're really pointy. So if you're shooting on gravel roads, on dirt, whatever, you can wedge this into the ground and it's not gonna budge. They screw in the bottom here. I'm kind of tempted just to put them on and leave them on as my feet, but I don't want to scratch up anyone's floors. So at the moment, good old rubber feet stuck on here. That's kind of all the main stuff regarding this. The middle column extends way up, and it has this little channel in the column here. I don't know if you can see that. Little channel to stop this from slipping out and to stop it from being able to turn, which is completely fine because your head turns, not the middle shaft. I know there's a big reason for that. This is my first pro tripod, and I feel like this groove here is something you probably only get in more high-end tripods. It just locks this shaft. It makes it stiff and reliable, like the rest of this tripod. What should I move on to? Let's have a look at the head. Ta-da, ta-da. This is the H70 fluid head. Now, I got this one because it was in the package. There are heads you can get that are lower than this from Innorel. There are heads you can get that are more expensive. For the GH5, this is overkill in terms of size. Look at the size of that base plate. This is for like C300s, FS7s, Ursa Mini Pro kind of bodies. That's a massive base plate. 25 kilo load, like that's a lot of weight. I can stand on this. Not really, but again, I love that I can drop any cage on here. I can have my GH5 in any kind of scenario, whack it on, and this will just work. As you can see, the rubber here started to scratch up a bit, which is completely acceptable. I've had things sliding on and off here for weeks shooting. Aluminium, it's a tank. Like, if you drop this on your foot, it's gonna hurt. My little cutaways here are probably showing you some of the cool little features and knobs and the twists and turns. You can move this handle from one side to the other. There's a little front mount here for 3/8. These are 1/4, 1/4, 3/8. It's pretty big. Just to mount stuff. Put your screen in here if you're shooting on here all day. Put on whatever, a microphone, whatever you want. The action of this fluid head, the most important thing, is lush. It is great. The amount of resistance on here is beautiful. Now, you wouldn't want this head on a smaller tripod. Because there's quite a sufficient amount of resistance, you need the tripod feet out quite wide to be able to counter you moving this head. Especially when you see how long this gets? If I'm shifting and putting quite a bit of leverage on this, you want those feet nice and wide. Again, even this, no, you know what? Aluminium, plastic. But it doesn't matter. It's like plastic that may as well be metal. Beautiful rubber handle. Used it heaps, has no sign of wearing away. Little spirit level here, just to know. I'm shooting on a GH5, which has a built-in gyro, tells me when I'm stable and stuff, so I don't really use that stuff too much. Something that did happen. Oh, actually, check it out. See my little D ring here? So I got like my little handle. I had to buy these separately. Everything I've bought lately, even the Crane 2, maybe, comes with a flat little ring. So to adjust it, you have to get out your keys, or you have to get out a coin to be able to turn that. It's really freaking annoying. So I bought a pack of 5, 10 bucks off eBay. I replaced all of my little, whatever you call these, with ones with a little hoop, doing, so I can do it myself. Anyway, back to this. Something that did break, and it's my own fault, because I was super rough and manhandling and, you know, but in my defense, when you buy something that's built like this and is this full on, you expect it to last. My little safety clip here, it's kind of like the little latch, the plate slides in and it clicks in. The little plastic teeth on the end of this little safety switch, they broke off, so it fell out, disappeared, it's gone, which is fine. I mean, I still use this, I'll still tilt it in the air. It's got like the little, it can't slide off anyway. It It's more of a safety thing when you're putting this on initially. You don't want it sliding back on you. Only gripe, that should be made of metal or something much, much sturdier, because this is so intensely strong. I think this being so crappy wasn't really my fault. It's just this little plasticky bit ramming against metal that caused it just to break off. But don't let that deter you. I feel like it was kind of my fault. We're in a rush, busy shooting days. I kept like trying to ram the cage off here, and I think I just shattered it trying to pull it off. Turn your little knob here and the whole thing, it's really hard to do by hand, spins on the base. So it loosens it inside and I can spin this around. Again, really beautifully resisted. In here, amazing. And next, I kind of prefer this. Even though I'm not really a photographer, I have had some paid photo gigs. I still haven't used this. I haven't had a photo gig since I got my 50 to 100 Sigma. I almost did. I was going to shoot at the Formula One down here in Australia. I was really looking forward to putting this on the monopod extension, which I'll show you in a second, and then whacking on the 50 to 100 and going around with a big battery grip. But it didn't happen. But I have used this for video a little bit. We shot a thriller and being able to get the camera to tilt down, kind of pull up. It's kind of a cool effect. Can't remember what this is called. All I know is, holy crap, this is the best ball head I've ever used. It's amazing for the price. If you buy a head like this from a well-known brand, from a brand that's like, I'm gonna say an American brand that still makes the stuff in China, it makes no difference. You're gonna pay the same price for all of this stuff, just for this. My little cutaway, again, will be showing you what I'm doing with it and how I'm faffing about with it. Everything is adjustable, check it out. So, this is a 44mm ball head. This is a huge ball head. Again, like if you drop this on your foot, it's gonna hurt. It's kind of funny. This is so light that these weigh quite a bit, but you want these to feel like a tank. If you've got your camera sitting on something like this, if you've got 20 grand worth of stuff, sitting on top of this, sitting on top of that, you want these to feel like you could shoot them and nothing's gonna happen. And we're in Australia, we don't have guns, so I don't know why I said that. Weird American use, too much. So, what does it do? My little cutaways are showing you everything comes off. This comes off. This turns around. All the spirit levels are wicked. They're all really nice and bright and really well calibrated. Almost all of these levels are actually calibrated for this mode, which is interesting, which took me a while to figure out, because when I got this, all of these were reading really weird and I was like, what's going on? Like, these are just in here for looks. They don't actually work, but they do work. You've just got to have your head this way. It's for that mode. Again, like, it's just awesome. Everything on here is metal. There isn't a single part of this one that's actually plastic, which is insane. This is, oh, there you go, it's the U44. 3/8 on the bottom. You flip around the little head, screw it in, tighten it down, away you go. Amazing. This, I prefer the look and feel of this. It's just fun, it's a little bit bling. I mean, look at all this. But again, none of this is colored. This is like, this has been pretty hammered and nothing's chipping. So all this stuff is actually polished metal. None of this is paint, again, which is amazing for the price. And onto the monopod base. These are the feet. Now the feet, awesome. Again, I use this mono off the actual stand just as like a spider base for my camera. It's awesome. This ball joint is really, really nice and firm. You tighten it down. I actually leave this, which one is it? Which one is it? I actually leave this on here all the time. I just take this attachment off. I screw the foot on. And I just leave it there. It's much easier. It does make the tripod a little bit, this sticks down a tiny bit further than the other feet when it's on. It doesn't really faze me. The amount I need this foot actually surprised me. I was kind of umming and ahhing getting this. I thought I was gonna buy a model down, didn't come with the monopod attachment. But I use this a lot, and I've actually used the monopod a lot. If you're umming and ahhing about getting a tripod that's also a monopod, or one of the legs turns into a monopod, get the monopod. It's 100% one of those things, can you see me? You can see me. You use if you have it. Now that's the monopod. Isn't that cool? So the leg comes off. Might as well do it. Leg comes off. Feet. Foot. Screws on. Voila. Amazing monopod. Again, if you were going to buy a monopod of this caliber, this is carbon fiber, these are fully adjustable. If you were going to buy one of these from a well-known brand, it would cost you more than friggin' this whole kit. Real carbon fiber. This stuff is light and sturdy. I've done a bit of playing around putting the Crane 2 on the end of this. Might as well show you. I'll show you putting this on. I'm not gonna put the Crane 2 on, not right now. And that's it, that's your base. So you screw that on. If you need to change the thread, you flip it around, and there's my, well actually, yeah, of course it does. And there's 1/4. And then, 3/8. It's gold. This is just so freaking cool. Adjustable, it gets like, this is gonna go way off. That's 2, I'm gonna go 1 more. It gets huge, huge. So what I have done, I've put the Crane 2 on the end of this. Almost a full extension. I can't quite bring myself to hang that amount of gear off the end here, but I put the Crane 2 on, put the GH5 on, and I just hang this and go for massive fake crane shots. This shaft doesn't creak, it doesn't strain. My shoulders give way before I feel like this is gonna give way. So again, like, I guess one of the benefits of buying something this overkill when you're only on a GH5 is if you want to do crazy stuff with a Crane 2 or with all this extra weight. This GH5 has a Sigma 18-35 on it, by the way. Can't put my 50-100 on the Crane, it's a bit too big. So heavy lens. I've even got ½ kilo of counterweights on the back of the Crane, just to help out a bit. It doesn't really need it with that lens, but it does give it a lot more leeway in terms of balance, and I'm still like a kilo underweight. That's for a different review. What else is to be said about this? That's kind of everything. This isn't a paid thing, by the way. They did not pay me to do this. There's just a lot of these kind of, I'm a bit of a frugal filmmaker. I don't have a ton of money, but I like to make good stuff. And I believe, personal opinion, if you've got an artistic eye, you know, that's the part you just have. That's you as a person. But to help you get that eye into a film or into a narrative or into context, your gear, it's your tool. Your tools, everything I have here is how I make what I want to make. If I'm working a 9-to-5 job, saving my butt up to buy, I think Manfrotto, name drop, have a tripod that this is based on. And what actually got me interested in this, DOP, cinematographer we know, was filming a web series, went to the house to pick up my partner who was acting in it, and he was packing down, he had this tripod. So, hey, how much is the tripod? He was rocking an FS7, so he had a 20 grand camera. And he was like, oh, it's about 2.5 grand. I was like, no way, 2.5 grand, I'm not spending that. Which got me looking and hunting around. And this is the real clincher, right? So everything I've just said, how long is this review going for? 19 minutes, jeez. Everything I just said, this, the plate, the ball head. I really hope all this is in focus. I got focus peaking on. the fluid head. All of this cost me about, top of my head, 450 bucks, 450 Australian dollars. So if you're American and you're watching this, but it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, like 300 bucks or something. Wildly good value for money. This is gonna last me for years. This isn't something I'm ever gonna sell. It'll break and fall apart, and that'll be when I buy a new one. I honestly think this will break and fall apart in like 10 years of intense use. Unless I drop it off a cliff or hit it with a car. This isn't going anywhere. That's kind of everything I can think of right now. Amazing tripod. If you like this review, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm a little bit slack when it comes to reviews. It's not 100% my thing. But I'm just reviewing gear that I have because it's so hard for me to find info on stuff I want for the frugal filmmaker. I can't justify spending the amount of money I spent on this camera on something like this. It makes no sense. And you don't have to. This is just as good as the top brands, if not better, for like a fifth of the price, right? So the only thing that let me down on all of this is my little safety latch here, which I think is my fault. I had it on the GH5 on this cage. I was trying to ram it off, get to the next shot. I was pretty violent with it. So as long as you don't do that and you're just normal with your gear, you'll be fine. But now that that's gone, I can smash the crap out of this stuff and it's not gonna budge. Like, it's so intense. It's such good quality that, no, you're not gonna have any issues with it. Alrighty guys, if you wanna see something we made using this tripod and all this gear, check out our little short proof of concept short night that's on our channel here. It's a bit of a proof for a short film, 20-25 minute film we've just made. We're finishing some shots in the coming week, doing some aerial shots, some in-car shots. Again, using all of this gear, borrowing a drone. And click on my other reviews for stuff that's around here. And I'll catch you next time. See ya. So good. Mwah.